Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Today's video is going to be another match reaction to Leeds losing 2-0 at the AMEX to Brighton.
Comes for Pablo Hernandez, and Pablo Hernandez scores a goal for Leeds United! Oh!
So, as usual, starting 11, no Kalvin. I still don't think we've been given any reasoning as to why he wasn't involved, but as far as we knew from earlier in the week, there was nothing to stop him, so it might be a personal issue, so we'll see on that one. So therefore, Click came into the midfield and Robin Koch played in the holding role. That meant that Dallas went and played out on the right midfield, and then you had a back four of Alioski, Struijk, Llorente and Ayling. So 13 minutes in, Alioski gives away a penalty. The first opening sort of 10 to 12 minutes, were nothing really happened. It was quite boring. Nobody on the Leeds side, at least, could really string any passes together, and we didn't really create anything because of that. Brighton didn't really create much in that time, but when they finally did get a chance and they got in the box, Alioski decided that he was going to bring down their attacker. I think it might have been Trossard. And he's been getting some abuse on Twitter from idiot Leeds fans, basically saying, get him out of our club, sell him now. Everybody makes mistakes. He just had a moment of madness, and we know he's a mad player anyway. He went to ground in the box, and then he was sort of crawling, and then he sort of hooked his arm round Trossard's thigh, and Trossard obviously couldn't run anymore and fell over. There was no need to do it. I think there was Ayling, Struijk and Llorente all behind the ball, ready to block the shot if he was to take a shot anyway. So it was a very needless tackle. It just didn't need to happen, and that already starts putting you on the back foot against a team that are our bogey team, really. We haven't won. I think we've lost 8 of the last 10 times we've played them. And according to the Peter Drury and Ali McCoist, the commentators on Prime, they said that we've never scored a top-flight goal on Brighton soil, like against Brighton, whether it be at their old ground, or at their new ground. So that seems a bit of a strange statistic, but it must be true. I'm just going to turn this on because I forgot. There we go. It took us 17 minutes to put together a good attack where we actually passed the ball around and we got through, and we didn't make much of it, but we actually played a bit of passing football to get through. I thought at that point it was going to be plain sailing after that, and we were going to start putting some more moves together and getting a bit more attacking, but that didn't come together really at all. We were sloppy the whole game. For the rest of that half, we didn't put much together, apart from a time where they nearly scored an own goal because of a Harrison cross. But other than that, I mean, they had a lot more chances than us in that first half. They had that one where it was cut across to Trossard after Llorente lost it in his own box. They passed it across to Trossard and he skied it over the bar. I mean, you can see why they are where they are in the league this season, given how unclinical they are, if that's a word. They create a lot of chances, but they just miss so many of them. But the thing is as well, they've got good players. Leandro Trossard is a good player. Danny Welbeck, on his day, is a good player. He obviously did score, but they could have scored a lot more than they did, and we were atrocious today. I honestly think it's probably the worst I've ever seen Leeds play under Bielsa. We just weren't at it at all. We couldn't string anything together. Maybe it's the fact that Kalvin wasn't included in the squad, and it was a bit of a last minute thing for everyone that everybody had to just adapt to. But we were awful. Alioski came off at half time. He was having a bit of a mare, so Alioski came off at half time. Poveda came on, so as you can imagine, Poveda went to right midfield. Dallas went to left back. Alioski came off. It didn't make much of a difference. Poveda, I thought, as much as he's that sort of X factor, that little bit different that you can bring on off the bench, that's not really like any of our other attacking players, should I say. He does a lot of dribbling and a lot of what looks like flicks and tricks, and does look like he's gonna go somewhere, but then he it he never just knocks it past a man and drives with the ball. He's always cutting back on himself and tying himself in knots. And eventually, I mean, he does well to keep the ball, but eventually he ends up just passing it to a defender or something. And you think, is there any point in that? Is there any point in you doing that? Really, you want to get him one-on-one, isolating a defender near the box, but that you couldn't really do anything today. So he wasn't great, but then you can't really blame that on him because nobody was ticking together. In the 58th minute, Rodrigo came on for Bamford. Now, Bamford was very isolated for the whole game. He didn't really get any service. I thought it was a weird decision to take him off and put Rodrigo on instead of him because, like I say, Bamford had been isolated the whole game. Nobody was getting him any service, so to me, putting Rodrigo on is just going to have the same issue. You should have put Rodrigo on as well as him. We had a few chances in that second half, nothing clear. A couple of times Dallas volleyed over the bar, and then we made another substitution where Pablo came on for Llorente. He didn't have much impact either. I was hoping he would do something magic to send off his career at Leeds, but nothing came of it. And then Danny Welbeck, where Struijk was facing his own goal in the box, it bounced in front of him. He could have just headed it back to Meslier. Instead, he decided to flick it over his head, and it dropped like this down to Danny Welbeck. He took a touch through his legs. It was a fantastic touch and just blasted it in the bottom corner. It was a very good goal. But like I say, today we were completely off it. We really did not perform well, and I'm really hoping we can pick it up against Spurs. So my camera is about to die, but that is about all I had to say on this game anyway. So I am going to see you next time after the Spurs game, where hopefully we can start to put a bit of a better performance together and score a few goals maybe and supply Bamford with a bit more to go off. Thanks for watching.